All right. We back in the building. Salute to everybody. You already know I'm Blue Devil. And today we back with another video reaction. Now look, Orange County, indictment this morning on Double M. If you know what that is, you know what that is. They pulled up to OC, the FBI, and they kicked down the door and arrested 40 members or associates of the Double M, which is the prison gang. You should know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then go look it up, bro. All right. This is breaking news, so I want to talk about it, see what we can extract from it. Or maybe not talk about it at all. Maybe just bring the awareness to the internet because it is a trending topic right now. And it does hit home. If you know, you know, right? But again, salute to everybody that's here. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys tap in. We got a lot of content dropping today, so make sure you guys are, looking for everything. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, bro, because a lot of people aren't being notified of the videos that we're dropping, and that's because you probably have your notifications off or you have the wrong option. So go to the main page, click the bell, and make sure everything is set to all and not limited or whatever the other options are. All right, with that being said, we dropped a live stream last night. It was about 2 hours, I think. Go check it out. Let's Talk About It podcast, episode 38. We're going to do episode 39 tonight. So make sure everybody taps in. Let's go ahead and watch this video and let's see what's going on with this breaking news. It's about a 12-minute video. All right. Man. As a matter of fact, let's watch the shorter video, which is about 3 minutes long. And let's see what's going on with this Double M indictment. There's actually a few videos. Man, there's actually a gang of videos going on about this situation. Let's see what it is.
Welcome to NBC News Daily, where we start with a major operation in California that's being dubbed Operation Gangsters Paradise. It's now leading to the arrests of dozens of Mexican mafia members.
The Justice Department says 43 gang members were taken into custody this morning. They're now facing charges of murder, kidnapping, drug trafficking, and more.
FBI Director Kash Patel says the group known as La M, or the Gang of Gangs, is known to control nearly every Latino street gang in California.
NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson joins us now. Steve, this is all part of a 2-year investigation into gang activity across Orange County and Los Angeles County. What do we know about these arrested gang members and the crimes that they're suspected of?
Yeah, Vicky Morgan, you guys said it. Operation Gangsters Paradise, this sweeping federal investigation meant to target at least 43 gang members and associates known to the Mexican mafia. 30 pre-dawn raids this morning, at least 24 taken into custody. The other half of that were already in prison or in custody. And federal authorities say these guys are the worst of the worst. You mentioned some of it: kidnapping, extortion, racketeering, illegal gambling, in one case, murder, in another case, more than that. But the drug dealing really is sort of the big part of this. At least 8 pounds of fentanyl taken in, 120 pounds of meth, 6 pounds of cocaine seized, 25 firearms, $30,000 in cash. It's interesting, the structure of this. A lot of the Mexican mafia is run sort of organizationally through the prison system here in California, and then they're directed to associates on the streets. The targets today were those associates to try to work their way up back into that system and take down the big guys here. Guys.
Steve, we know the leader of this gang was in prison while this investigation was taking place. Yeah. So my question is, how did they sort of track down this many of the members?
Yeah, again, interesting here. Again, the associates, the people that are known to the mafia, these are the street guys running these gambling flop houses, running these extortion operations, these racketeering operations. They were directed from the guy you're speaking of, who was in prison, using a confiscated cell phone to send encrypted messages to sort of orchestrate the operation that was happening on the street. A lot of it was simple gumshoe reporting. A lot of it was undercover work. We know at least one case where there was, the exchange of about, half a dozen drug flops or drug meets with fentanyl with an undercover agent. In other cases.
Real quick, all these are alleged charges, because they keep saying one guy in prison. And if you know it's not just one guy in prison, right? But I do want to say one thing, bro. I really just don't fuck with the whole fentanyl shit, homie. Like I've said this before, like cocaine, fuck it. Meth, fuck it. Weed, fuck it. H, fuck it. But fentanyl, that's just something I don't rock with, bro. Like that to me is like, it's like, I don't know, bro. It's like real bad, homie. And I'm not trying to talk down on these dudes or nothing at all. I'm basically just speaking on the drug itself. Fentanyl, bro, is it's the worst of the worst, homie. Because it straight kills the youth without knowing what the youth is consuming. They might go buy a narco pill and they might have fentanyl in it and you're dead. They might go buy a perky thinking they're getting a perk and they're buying fentanyl. They might go buy an 8-ball of coke to do a couple lines and party with some hood rats. And now they dead. And that's why I don't fuck with that, bro. That is death. Now, to each their own, these guys are going to do what they want to do, you know. But that's just something I don't rock with, dog. I don't respect it. I'm not cool with it. But again, I'm nobody. I'm a civilian, not a pedestrian. Don't get that fucked up. I'm a civilian. It's a very, very big difference from a pedestrian and also a big difference from a forklift driver. All right. Keep that in mind, bro. I'm above both of those.
They were targeting the money pipeline through the trafficking revenues, through these extortion schemes, dismantling the financial system of the overall operation to, again, get back into the prison system and catch the leaders at the top. That's the goal.
All right, Steve Patterson covering the sweeping Operation Gangsters Paradise. We appreciate it, Steve.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on.
All right, let's watch one more clip that I seen that might be important in this case right here, bro. I seen the press conference. Let's see what the press conference got to say. Okay. And then we'll go from there. All right. Once again, Double M, 40 members and associates. I don't think 40 members of the Double M. I think 40 associates, you know, which happens to be gang members, which happens to be like paisas probably too. You know, people that are involved one way or another. Drug runners, money runners, dudes that are running the casitas, you know, the little gambling houses, you know, the little gambling machines, dudes that are running the back and forth with phone calls or attorney, like go tell the attorney this, go tell the attorney that, you know, send your lady to the prison to drop off this, you know, go to the Western Union and send this money. All those are associates, bro. Even though they're not all the way plugged in, like maybe like from the gang or the gangs, they could be regular civilians, bro, running favors. And one little favor can get you caught up. Like you might not even be like tapped in like that, but you did one favor. Because when the indictment comes down, they arrest anybody and everybody, bro. You could be the crackhead buying dope and you have nothing to do with this indictment or this operation. You have nothing to do with it, bro. You just went, knocked on the door, and bought a dub. Now you're part of the indictment, bro. Now you're going to go to jail, and now you got to prove it to the judge that you were there just to buy dope. You know, I've seen people get busted like that, bro. I've seen people talk about they're in an indictment, they were facing life. And I just sit back like, fool, you were the crack kid that came to knock on the door for the dub. You weren't part of the indictment. You were not out there running around with these heavy hitters. You were buying the dope for yourself consumption. And you just happened to get caught in the indictment, bro. And they're fighting 25, so you fight 25 too. Once a judge finds out you're the crack kid, they let you go. What are you talking about, partner? But let's go ahead and watch this press conference, and we'll call it a video. I should have wanted to bring awareness to let everybody know out there. They always watching, bro. The all-seeing eye is always watching. What do they call them? Big Brother is always watching.
Say they've arrested more than 24 Mexican mafia members in a massive sting operation.
And the suspects are accused of crimes that's including murder and drug trafficking. Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost live for us in Santa Ana this morning with details on this takedown. Chip, take it away.
Yeah, this was a huge takedown. They had multiple locations where they were conducting operations and making a lot of arrests. They announced all of this here at the federal courthouse earlier this morning.
Through the work of the task force, investigators uncovered a wide range of serious crimes, including murder, robberies, extortion, narcotics trafficking, and illegal firearm possession.
Thursday morning, Southern California law enforcement leaders announced the arrest of dozens of people in an effort dubbed Operation Gangsters Paradise.
Damn. Listen, we're not judging any of these guys, bro, at all. We don't know their circumstance. We don't know what they got cracking. You know, they chose that life and they're playing that game. You know, now, whoever's watching this right now, you may have not chose that life. You might be blessed. Or maybe you did choose that life at one point in your life, but now you went a different route. Now you're a family man. Well, you were a smart man, you know, but let's not judge these people, bro. Because everybody gets one life and they get to play the game of life in whichever way they feel is fit for them. And some people may enjoy that life. You know, some people may do it because they got no choice. Some may do it because they got to feed their family. Who knows? Some might like it full, like they might think it's fucking hella fun. You know, so I don't judge none of these dudes, bro. I do wish them happiness, bro, and whatever it may be, whether it's going back to prison or it's being on the streets or whether it's with their, whatever it may be, bro. As long as they happy and they content, that's cool. I can guarantee you some of them going to prison, it doesn't change anything in their life. Like, they're not worried. They don't care. They've probably been doing this forever. You know, but what's crazy is that recently the FBI has been taking down the gang of shit, dog. The whole Big U. Then they had La Puente. Remember they took down La Puente gang members in the indictment? Now this one. Bro, and I guarantee, the San Pedro one. San Pedro, La Puente, Orange County, Big U and the Rolling 60s. Bro, the FBI has been knocking shit down, homie. And everybody's going to say, how about the fucking, what's that white boy's name? What's the fucking güero's name? The fucking guy, bro. Epstein. They're going to be like, but where's the Epstein files? People are going to be like, they're trying to cover up the Epstein files. I don't think so, bro. I think all this has been going on for years, bro. And they're finally just getting tired and getting rid of everybody. And not only that, bro, but you know how they're gentrifying the city of LA? You know, or like the whole county of LA? They're gentrifying all of IE. They're gentrifying all of OC. And they're getting rid of all the gangsters, the cholos, the scum, the homies, all of that, bro. So what's crazy is that eventually there will be no more gangs on the street, bro. Give it 10 more years, bro. Gangs will be obsolete. Think about it. Gangs went from being... Remember the movie The Warriors? Who remembers the movie The Warriors, bro? Gangs used to be a group of friends that come from the same place that were just controlling their turf, to protecting their streets, their family, their neighbors, their friends. They became, you know, organizations that started to make money, sell dope, sell drugs, create chaos, wanting to control and take over to what it is now, bro. It's wild. It's wild. But I think in 10, 15 years, gangs will no longer be around, bro. I think it's going to get to the point where if you get caught being a gang member or with a gang tattoo, you're going to be sent to prison for life. I think it's going to be like that eventually, bro. The glory days are over, homie.
Paradise. The charges outline how they say Luis Cardenas, an alleged shot caller in the Mexican mafia, controlled gang members on the street from his state prison cell where he's serving a sentence for murder.
From his prison.
Oh, maybe I was wrong earlier when I said it was a group of them. Maybe he was in charge of that section. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that, bro. Let's just play the video, bro, and get the fuck out of here. This is dangerous, homie.
Prison cell, Cardenas used an encrypted messaging app on contraband cell phones to direct the gang's high-ranking associates on the streets on the operation of La Me's activities in Orange County. Victims who had the misfortune of being in bad standing with Cardenas ran the risk of having him command orders to kidnap and assault them out in the streets.
Here's one example of just how influential they say Cardenas was.
When one of the out-of-custody associates was moving $20,000 in cash for Cardenas, he was pulled over by law enforcement while on the phone with Cardenas, who was in prison. Cardenas instructed her to break her phone, and she poured water on it. So it just gives you just a little taste of how much control he exerts. He's literally on the phone with criminal actors as they're engaged in crime in our streets.
Well, that's nothing new. Back when I used to be in the streets of Calexico, which people are going to be, oh, that's a soft-ass place. Not really, bro. That's border town, and if you were live there, you would see all the action that would happen through the border, like all the illegal activity and drugs and immigrants and all that. It was hectic, right? Every day for people getting busted with thousands of pounds crossing that border, right? But what I'm trying to say is, back then we had Nextels, like Chirps, Boost Mobiles and shit. And anytime we would get pulled over by Homeland Security, the number one rule was take the battery out and the SIM card, get rid of it, do what you gotta do, swallow it, break it, rip it, keister it, whatever. And you're gonna ask yourself why. Well, because the contacts were very important people in Mexico, and that's intel that Homeland Security would love to have, your contacts in Mexico. That's all who you would chirp with is contacts in Mexico, or the contacts that were in the U.S. that were very, very, very important people, bro. So imagine if Homeland Security got a hold of the, top of the human smuggler ring, so automatically you would take out that SIM card, break it, throw it away, and start over, bro. Every single time, bro. If you were smart, you would have these chirp numbers written down at home somewhere safe. So that way when you get a new phone, transfer everything over manually and then chirp everybody back out. Like, hey, boom, I had to break the other phone. Whoop-de-whoop. Because they would, Homeland Security, DHS, ICE, Border Patrol, they would all pull you over in the city. That's how that city was. Like, you wouldn't see cops. You would see those people. Cops were way in the outskirts, and so those people will pull you over or like fuck with you. And, if they knew you were playing the game, which they knew who was playing the game, they will search you and they will take your phone. They will confiscate your phone, and not give it back to you, bro. So that dude that had that girl break the phone, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
It's outrageous.
Now, we're told there are still at least 2 suspects outstanding. As for those who are arrested this morning, they are expected to appear here in federal court a little later today. For now,
man, listen, to anybody out there, bro, just remember, you pick the life you want to lead. You pick the life you want to live. I'm not the one to preach to nobody. I'm not the one to try to say anything to nobody. But if there's any youngsters watching this, all you do is shorten your lifespan, bro. When you fucking around out there. Now, look, I know sometimes you ain't got no choice, and that's the cards you were dealt, and that's what you're running with. I get it. I respect it, because I was there. But just tread lightly. Tread lightly, because only the strong survive. Not everybody makes it out of that struggle, bro. And that struggle is only temporary, because that mindset should be only temporary. And once again, not everybody makes it out. So to those that already made it out, to those that are out here living life, having been through the war, having been through the prison system, having been shot, stabbed, gang life, and already made it out, I commend you. I applaud you. You know, and you one of them. You one of them soldiers, bro. You know, not too many. A lot of people either die, go to prison for a long time, or just live lives that are miserable. You know, I'm gonna say I'm one of the lucky ones that was able to survive all that. My brother Droop's another one. Nefarious, another one. Baby Blue Dramatic in the chat, another one. And it's just me speaking some names that I remember, you know. You know, from the people that are in, you know. But there's many more, bro. Bozo, Bam, another one. You know, the homie Lux, the tattoo guy. You know, these are all people that have been here that I could recall. You know, they've all survived what you would call the 90s, bro. So look, salute to everybody. Hit the like button. Double M suspects arrested in Orange County. And yeah, bro. To the youngsters, make sure you choose wisely, because some don't ever come back. And with that being said, I'm Blue Devil. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I got a video dropping on Blue Devil Reactions, or the official Blue Devil, in a few minutes. Doe Hunter Hood Vlog. Go check it. And with that being said, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Until next time, we out.